Hi everyone, how's it going? Welcome along to Homeschool Hub. It's great to see you as always, and well done on all the learning from home. You're doing great stuff. Thanks a million for sending in all the posts. It's amazing, and you know what? It makes me feel very special, so thanks a million. And check it out. I'm extremely excited for today's English reading class because I have a brand new book. And it's from an Irish author and illustrator. His name is Jerry Daly. And I love this book already. It's called Finn's First Song, A Whaley Big Adventure. Now, just like the last book that we read, remember it was called Run Wild by David Covell, this one also has a theme of nature. This one takes place in the ocean. Now today, I'm not just going to be reading aloud to you. I want you to join in and read along as well, okay? And this book is perfect for us to read along together. Now, I love this story because there are so many really fun sounds to be heard in the story. So it's not just all contained here on the pages, it fills the space around us when we read it. Because for the loud bits, we're going to read out loud. And for the quiet bits, remember, we're all reading along together. We're going to read nice and quiet. So with these changes of loud and quiet, we're going to be putting lots of expression into all of our reading. And remember another thing as well when we're reading. It's really important to understand. So I have a really fun activity too, okay? Now, many of the pages we read contain wonderful sounds, like I said. So on each page, after we read, I want you to make the sounds that you can read, okay? Now, time to begin. But as always, like with every reading class, let's do some predicting. So just have a look at the cover there and tell me, what do you think that this book is about? Who do you think is the main character? What do you think is going to happen? And what does this title, Finn's First Song, what does this title tell you about what will happen? Okay, good predicting, well done. Now, time to get started. Finn's First Song, A Whaley Big Adventure by Jerry Daly. Here we go. Far away on the glistening ocean, an amazing journey began. Finn was swimming all the way to the Irish coast with his mum. Will Dad be there? Asked Finn. Oh yes, said Mum, and lots of tasty food too. Finn loved to hear his dad's magical songs rumble and roll across the huge ocean. Squeak! Thwap! Thwap! Whoop! 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 Dad could make far away feel very near. So, let's have a look at our sound words. Rumble and roll. Let's make these sounds together again. Squeak, thwop, thwop, whoop, 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 thwoop, thwoop. This book is bringing us underneath the ocean. Isn't that amazing? Underneath the ocean surface, I should say. Now, on their journey, Finn loved to jump into the air, to splash the biggest splash, to blow up to the sky and hide. Well, sort of. So the sounds that we can hear on this one, here, splash. Make a splash sound. Now make a blow sound, like a whale breaching the surface. Blow up to the sky. Each night, beneath the whoosh of the waves, Finn drifted off to sleep, listening to his dad's distant song. My mom and dad are the biggest in the world, he whispered. But sometimes there were much bigger things. Beep, rumble, chug, 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 bam, boom, boom. Finn hid under his mum's flipper as she tried to guide him away. The ships were so loud, Finn was afraid. He looked all around. But he couldn't see his mum anywhere. He was all alone. Oh, I don't like this, he thought. Then Finn saw some other sea creatures. Maybe they could help. Are we all reading along together? Here we go. Nice and slow. Hello, everyone. I am lost, said Finn. I can't find my mum or hear my dad. What should I do? Can you send a message? Asked a clever octopus as she wriggled her curly tentacles. I don't know, Finn sniffed. Watch us, she said. We all have different ways to send a message. I can squirt ink to send a message, said the octopus. So he shook and he shook, but no matter how much, Finn just could not squirt ink. Next, an electric ray said, I can make electricity. Finn wibbled and wobbled, but it would not work. Instead, he made a surprise little sound. Squeak! Squeak! We change our color, said the squids. We can be red, then orange, then blue. Can you? Finn tried to change color using yellow sponges and some kelp. This is no good either, he moaned. How can I send a message? We twinkle our lights, said lots of crystal jellyfish. He pushed and he wriggled. He squeezed his eyes tight. He flapped his flippers. He waggled his tail, but Finn had no lights. Instead, he made another funny sound. Thwop! Thwop! We can click, said the seahorses. We like to whistle, said a pod of dolphins. Finn listened patiently. They were all amazed when he made a very different sound. Whoop, whoop. We make ourselves bigger, said the pufferfish. Well, Finn could easily look absolutely huge. Now he made another sound, which he really liked. Come on, everyone. At last, Finn knew what he could do. He started to sing his first whale song. Squeak! Thwop, thwop! Whoop, whoop, whoop! Whoop, whoop! Wow, that That's really great, said all the other sea creatures. Wow, look, I can see musical notes. Isn't that beautiful? He's singing. Finn sang for as long and as loud as he could. His song went far, far across the ocean. Everybody join in. Squeak, thwop, thwop, whoop, 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 whoop. Then something very big was very close. What do you think it was? It was Mum. I heard you, Finn, she cheered. You're a great singer. Stay beside me now, we're nearly there. Nearly where? Oh, they're swimming to the west coast of Ireland, aren't they? A happy whale loves to splash. And Finn made the biggest splash ever. He thanked his new friends for all their help. Okay, make the biggest splash ever. Off you go. Splash. For another day and night, they swam together side by side. Close to Mum, Finn wasn't afraid anymore. He liked to sing his song. Squeak, thwop, thwop. Soon Dad could hear him too. And Dad always sang back. At last they arrived at the coast of Ireland, where they filled their massive mouths with tons of tiny fish. And there was Dad. They sang the biggest whale song together. Squeak, whoop, whoop, thwop, thwop. And their whale song carried far, far across the huge ocean. Are you singing along with Finn and his dad? Let's hear you. And that's the end of the story. That is the story of Finn's first song. Let's play a quick game. So what I have here is a dice. And of course, a dice is 1 to 6, and each number is linked to a question up here. Have a look. Yep. So let's just roll, and we can make up any questions that we wanted. It's just to see how well we understood our story. Okay, here we go. Number 1. Okay, so that's number 1. Up here is number 1. Why? Okay. Why was Finn making this huge, big, long journey across the ocean? He was trying to meet his dad, wasn't he? Oh, and get lots of food as well, and to visit Ireland. Now, here we go. Oh, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what question is that? What did Finn learn from the other sea creatures? Well, off you go. What did he learn? He learned how to send a message. He learned how to sing, didn't he? Yeah, he learned from all those other sea creatures. Okay, one last roll. Number 1 again. Okay, so why was he so happy to see his dad off the west coast of Ireland? I'd say it's because he hadn't seen him in ages, and they were going to eat lots of fish, and they were going to sing together. Okay, brilliant reading and great comprehension game as well. You can play that yourself at home. Now, so what did we learn today? Well, we read the story of Finn's first song. We read it together, and we made the sounds that we heard underneath the ocean. And we had so much fun with sounds. We had sounds like rumble and roll and click and whistle. And it made the story sing to us. Yeah, Finn really sang to us. And we played a game that allowed us to investigate how well we understood our reading today. Mashiv. And thank you, Jerry Daly. Great work. And yeah, fantastic stuff, everybody. And I'm going to be making whale sounds all day, I'd say. Squeak, thwop, thwop, whoop. Hey, I think I learned how to sing as well. Mashiv. See you next time. Slán.
Woo! Shot in the gaelge. Well, caicís na gaelge chun an éarna rá nach Marin sé fa caiiciise. Rénos is éhanlumm seachtain na Gaeilge. Tugann sé deis do dhaoine nach chun mór an Gaeilge acu cúpla focail le eolamm agus roiinn cleachta comhrá a dhéanamh le daoine eile. D'eolamm mise mo chud Gaeilge ar scóil anseo i mbaile átha clia. Scóil Mómhaí an tanamatá ar an scóil agus scóil Catríona in dhé sin. Chun bheith cáanta faoi is iad na carda is fear atá a gom ná na daoine a bhíos ar scóil leo, agus fós leabharann muid Gaeilge le na chéile. When we meet up, we still have all the crack and we speak Irish to each other. And at home, I actually love speaking Irish with my family too. Tá mé buíoch don Gaeilge, mar thug sé an iarn sin deisina dom, agus postana. An tóracht, cinreacht ag an nGaeltacht, a gothú, dus na cartún ar RTÉ postana I Delafís, agus dar nói an homeschool hub. Ní bheoch mé anseo gan an Gaeilge. I actually wouldn't be here right now on the hub if I didn't have Irish. Mar sin, piece of carla a bheoch agam mother leis an Gaeilge ná, nach chuil sé riamh ródhéanach leis an teanga a eolamm. It's never too late to pick up a few words that you can use. Mar sin, céim mhuiile atá ort, ar raig live. Go naimhí live, agus buan tanmh as seachtain na Gaeilge.
Dave, and you are scóil? Teddy, comet scully and ever deuce. On shin is fail at hide and seek it image. Cacolor. And ish thought Teddy air on muska. And ish thought Teddy inaka lesh muska. Ish this a muska? Nido element Teddy. Well, cacolor Teddy. And ish thought Teddy ishte savoska. Níl sé faoin tullag. Teddy! Níl sé tíféir an plamba. Tá fómhríos tíar chluigeann Teddy! And ish tá Teddy ar an mór. Teddy? No, níl tú dul isteach sa bosca a ríis. Teddy! Tá Teddy iste sa bosca. Teddy. Well, tá Teddy Emer. No? Give shop. Oh well. Slowly.
I'm Emer and welcome back to Exercise with Emer. I hope you're all having a great morning so far and that you're excited for today's workout. Do you know what the largest bone in the human body is? I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with Emer. Yes, it is our femur. The smallest bone is called the stirrup bone and it's located inside in your eardrum. That's the smallest bone in our body. Okay, so biggest bone, femur, rhymes with Emer. Smallest bone, stirrup, right inside there. Okay, I think we should get going. Right, off we go, into our jog. Good job, woo, here we go. How are we feeling? Are we ready, steady, go? I hope so. All right, little joke for you. What do you call a gorilla with bananas in his ears? Anything you want, because he can't hear you, sure? Okay, I hope you enjoyed that one. Again, feel free to use it. You can be the comedian of the household with all these amazing jokes and more. Okay, whew, good job. From here, we're gonna do toe touches. So we're gonna bring our arms straight out. We're gonna go touch toe, and back up. Okay, ready? Let's go. And up, really nice. Touch toe, and up. Great job. Nice. Well done. It's a nice little stretch here, actually, in the back of the legs. I'm feeling it in my hammies, in my hamstrings. Feels good. Well done, guys. Keep that up. Really good stuff. Keep it up, we can do this. Woo! Nice, good job. All right, so next we're gonna do our elbow to knee. And we'll try and kind of get a little jump into it, a little pep in our step. Okay, ready? And go. So, opposites. Woo! Here we go. I need big smiles too, showing me how happy and excited you are to exercise this morning. Good job. Really try to get that knee up. Yes. Great job, guys. Keep that up. Come on, we can do it. We can do it together. Yes, keep going. Push through. Oh, brilliant stuff, well done. Okay, next up are our scissor jumps. So we're gonna do like this to here, and whilst we're doing that, we're gonna go here to here with our arms. Okay, ready? Let's go. Good job. Whew. This is a good one to get the heart rate up. Nice little bit of cardio. Work on our cardio, getting our heart rate up. Super job, keep it up. Stay with me. Woo! Here we go. Super, super duper. Keep going, guys. Well done. Well done, really good. Okay, I need more high energy for this one, okay? We're gonna get into jumping jacks. Ready? Let's go. Super, let's go, let's go. Remember, arms go over the head at the same time that our feet go out. Bum, out, in, in. Really good. Let's try and get this coordination done. And so we're out and in. Feet out when arms go overhead. Keep it up. You know you might be tired, but you can do this. I know you can. Keep up that energy. Really, really good. Super. Okay. Next thing we're gonna work on are our kicks. So we're gonna do side kicks. So what I want for you to do is to kick, leg down, kick, leg down, kick, okay? Now you can kind of get your breathing regulated while you're doing this as well. So nice in through the nose, out through the mouth. Try and get your breathing to come back down a bit. You're doing a really good job. This is a tough workout today, so well done. Okay, on wheel terrain, let's get going. Kick, 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 nice, kick. Oh yeah, I should have said, make sure there's nobody around. I do not need you kicking anybody. I'm just gonna do like this with my legs, and if you get hit, it's your own fault. Don't say that. Come on, guys. Lift those legs right up. Super job. Good job. Woo. Ah. Nice. Okay, next, we're doing knee pull downs. So we're gonna reach for the sky, knee up, pull down. So the knee comes up when we're pulling down. Okay, here we go. Great job. Yeah. Woo. Here we go. Super stuff. Now, remember, clench the fists. So we're making a muscle. With our biceps, we're contracting our arm muscles. Well done, keep it up. Really good, we're nearly there. Super stuff. And we're done. Well done, everyone. That was so much fun. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget the rest of your 60 minutes of activity if you can, and I'll see you soon. Swan!
Hi everybody, welcome to Dublin Zoo. My name is John and I'm here today to teach you all about the turtles and tortoises that live here. Now, the first question you're probably wondering is, what is the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? Well, turtles, they have beaks, they move slowly, and you can find them in all kinds of different environments, from rivers to oceans to deserts, burrows, and even forests. And the other thing that we have to think about with turtles is that they all have shells. Now, those shells are made out of bone from back and front, and they have a little covering of keratin. Now, if you remember from our rhinos or our oryx, keratin is the same stuff that covers your fingernails. Tortoises, they're just a group of turtles that only live on land. Now, that's the basics. Let's find out about some of the turtles that we have here in Dublin Zoo. Now, first up is our Chinese striped-necked turtle. Now, you can tell straight away that he's a turtle, not a tortoise, because he's living in the water. But because he's a turtle, it means that his shell needs to be hydrodynamic. Now, that's a big word, so I'll get you to say that one with me. Hydrodynamic. Yeah? Good job, everybody. But what does it mean? Hydrodynamic is all about getting through the water really easily. So it needs to be a smooth shell so you can swim through it really handily. As opposed to tortoises, who kind of have bumpy shells. Imagine trying to swim with a backpack on your back. Can you tell whether these guys are tortoises or turtles? If you said tortoise, you're absolutely right. And you can tell because of that nice bumpy shell, and it's not really as smooth as the one we saw before, and they live on land, a nice dry area. These are star tortoises, and they're from dry areas like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and India. Like some turtles, the star tortoise, they can tuck their head into their shell. Now, there's two different ways of doing this. Some turtles do it by tucking their head right back in, like this guy, and others do it by turning their head kind of sideways. And some tortoises can even close their shell in behind them. Oh, but can you think, do tortoises and turtles get out of their shell sometimes? I'll answer that one in a second. The answer is no. Now, I have a shell here from one of the animals that used to live here in Dublin Zoo, but they died of old age. And we can see on the inside that its shell is made up of its backbone and its ribs fused together to make that lovely, hard, protective shell. And lastly, I wanted to introduce you to the anim leaf turtles. Now, the reason I wanted to introduce you to them is because until recently, we thought they were extinct. Now, do you remember extinct from our dinosaur episode? That means that they're all gone. But if they were extinct, how can we have them here? Well, a secret population was found in 2006 in Vietnam. And from there, we were able to get them into zoos all over the world to try and bring their population back up. And in Dublin Zoo, we just celebrated our first anim leaf turtle hatchlings. Now, we call these anim leaf turtles, but we could easily call them anim leaf terrapins, because there's another group that we haven't talked about yet. These are the terrapins. Terrapins are a type of turtle that live in fresh water and lakes. They also spend half of their time in the water and the other half on land. A lot of the turtles we've talked about so far are pretty small, considering that some of them get quite big, like this Galapagos giant tortoise. But even bigger than that, some of the sea turtles, like the leatherback turtle, can get up to 2.2 meters. That's even bigger than me lying down here. But you've probably heard that turtles are pretty slow, and you're not wrong. The turtles don't move very quickly, and they don't need to, because they have these big, long shells to help them protect them from predators. And they're so big that it's very difficult for a predator to get their mouth around them. But there's other perks to being in the slow lane as well. Turtles can live for a really long time. The oldest animal living in the world is a tortoise called Jonathan, and he lives on St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic Ocean. And he just turned 189 years old this year. That's 1 year younger than Dublin Zoo. We learned a lot here today about different kinds of tortoises and turtles, from the Chinese striped-necked turtle to the critically endangered animal leaf turtle. Thanks for joining us to learn all about them. Bye for now.
Today, I have a very interesting question for you. Does nature like maths? What do you think? It's a bit of a funny question, but today we're going to explore the answer. So let's start at the start. Patterns, sequences, and numbers are all a huge part of mathematics. And personally, I love trying to figure out what the pattern is in a sequence. Let me show you what I mean. Let's look at this sequence over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now, that's fairly straightforward. The pattern is that we're skipping a number and therefore we're counting in twos. So what do we think the next number in this sequence is going to be? Well, we skipped 1, we landed on 2. We skipped 3, we landed on 4. Skipped 5, and we have 6. We skip 7, and we have 8. We skip 9, and we have 10. We skip 11, and we have 12. Very good. Let's look at the next one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So what are we doing here? Excellent. We're counting in fives. So what would the next number in this sequence be? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Very good. And the next one again. 5 plus 30, 35. Excellent. So it can actually be quite easy to see a pattern in a sequence of numbers, but it can get a little bit more difficult too. Let's have a look at this one, for example. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So what exactly is the pattern here? Well, 1 plus 1 equals 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 plus 8 equals 16. So it's doubling and doubling and doubling. So I got a question for you. What county is growing the fastest? This county right here. It keeps doubling and doubling and doubling. Anyway, what's going to come next in this sequence? We went 8, 16, 32. So now we have to add 32 plus 32. And the answer we're going to get is 64. So you can keep going with that sequence on and on and on. Now, let's have a look at this one in red. 0, 1, 1 again, that's strange. 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. That's a tricky one. We moved up 1 here, but we stayed on 1 here. And then we moved up 1 again here. And we went up 1 here, and then we went up 2. Now this one is actually very, very interesting because this pattern is known as the Fibonacci sequence, named after a man named Leonardo Pisano, nicknamed Fibonacci. Now Fibonacci studied this sequence here in red 800 years ago in Italy. And this sequence can go on and on and on and on forever. But how exactly does it work? Well, let's look at the numbers. We have 0 and 1. If we add 0 to 1, we get 1. If we add 1 and 1, we get 2. If we add 1 and 2, we get 3. If we add 2 and 3, we get 5. So what we're doing is, we're taking the last 2 digits, adding them together to get the next number in the sequence. So for example, 3 plus 5 equals 8, 5 plus 8 equals 13, 8 plus 13 equals 21. So what's the next number in this Fibonacci sequence? Well, let me get my red marker and we'll try and figure it out. We had 8 plus 13, which gave us 21. And now we have 13 plus 21 to get the next number. So the next number is 1 plus 3 equals 4. And 2 plus 1 equals 3. Hey, look at us, we're adding to our Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so it's a pretty cool sequence. But why is the Fibonacci sequence so famous? Well, if I was to draw this sequence out on a ruled page, just like this, I want to show you what happens. I'm going to take my marker and a ruler, and we're going to add squares to the amount of our Fibonacci sequence. In other words, let's add 0. Done. Now let's add 1 square. Okay, we have our square. Now let's add another square. Excellent. Now we're going to add a square that's 2 squares by 2. In other words, it's going to be bigger. Let me show you what I mean. So underneath here we have a 2 by 2 square. And as we all know, 2 times 2 equals 4. So if you look here at our 2 by 2 square, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. With me? Great. Now the next one is a 3 by 3 square. So let's draw that out here. 3 squares across, 1, 2, 3. And we'll do a 3 square across here. 1, 2, 3. Line here. Okay. Now, as well as our 3 by 3 square, we have to draw a 5 by 5 square. So let's go up this way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over here we have, let's finish it off by going down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to finish the line, straighten it up a little bit. There we go. Now the next one, an 8 by 8 square. So let's go all the way over here. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okie dokie. Now you can keep going like that on and on and on. We could do a 13 by 13 square and a 21 by 21 square. I don't have enough room on this page, but it could get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger into infinity, okay? Now I want to show you this. If we start here in our first square and we draw an arc from corner to corner, it goes up to here. If we keep going with that arc, corner to corner, it'll go from here down to here. So let's keep going with that, corner to corner. Here we go. And you can see that our arc gets bigger and bigger. Now, I know that's not perfectly drawn because I'm just drawing a freehand, but you get the idea. So the Fibonacci sequence forms a spiral. Now, to use a mathematical term, this spiral is called a logarithmic spiral. That means it gets bigger as it goes away from the center. So this rectangle here is also called the golden ratio rectangle. And experts believe that it influenced a lot of famous artists and architects to make buildings and different types of art. So the idea is, I'm going to turn this sideways so we can see it better. So the idea is that this line and this line to this line in Fibonacci sequence makes the perfect symmetry in a building or a picture. And therefore it's really nice to look at. So let's look at this picture of Mona Lisa. So apparently, if you were to draw Fibonacci's golden ratio rectangle and the spiral, you would see perfect symmetry within her face. Now here's an even more interesting fact. These Fibonacci logarithmic spirals are all around us in the natural world. So let's have a look. So we can see Fibonacci sequences right here. This is the snail's shell. And it starts in here and it spirals out and goes further and further and further, just like it did on our mathematical Fibonacci golden ratio rectangle. So we have snail shells, Fibonacci sequence. Then you have things like flowers and different forms of fruit and plants. And we can see that it goes out. You can nearly imagine the spiral there. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes out. And also, the number of petals on flowers often correlates to numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. Let's have a look at another example. We have snails, we have photographs of flowers, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where we can see our Fibonacci spirals in the galaxy in which we live. This is a picture of the Milky Way. So we can see Fibonacci sequence from the smallest shell on a snail to the largest galaxies, and even in our own one, the Milky Way. Now, it's all well and good looking at pictures of spirals and deciding that, yes, Fibonacci's sequence is everywhere. But take a look at this acorn. We're going to start at the bottom here, and we're going to count these little bits that make a spiral. So let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right to the top. Like I said, they call this sequence the golden ratio, and engineers and artists have been creating using the golden ratio for centuries. So remember at the beginning of the lesson, I asked you if you thought that nature liked mathematics. Well, based on the Fibonacci sequence, it's pretty much proof that nature loves maths. So the next time you're out and about, try and see if you can spot some of these logarithmic Fibonacci spirals. And see for yourself that the mathematical formula of nature is the Fibonacci sequence. Slán go fóill, torara.
We love getting videos from you all of the amazing work that you've been doing at home. You've been working so hard. Check out these amazing videos.
2, 1,
Let's
go!
Welcome to our chain reaction. Yay!
I'm Angelina, so I did my language constellations.
Evelyn, Bobby Flynn, Banana Fun, Fofi Flynn, Fee-Fi, Mommy Flynn, Evelyn. Bye. Hola, soy Gaia ten questions. And hello, I'm Gaia and I am 4.
Hello, I am Gaia's mommy and my name is Inês. O meu nome é Inês e sou a mamã de Gaia.
We are 3 people's mommy and daddy and Gaia, and I live in this house with you.
And how many languages do we speak at home?
English, Italiano, and Portuguese. That's it. 3.
Where is mommy from, Gaia?
I don't know.
Which language do I speak?
in Portuguese.
So I was born in Portugal. And Daddy?
Daddy speaks Italiano. Well, let's go to Italiano.
Oh. Do you prefer songs in Portuguese or songs in Italian?
Oh, I prefer in English.
In English.
agus fáiltróbaisteach ag an homeschool hub is mise múnsar cléana. So today we are going to step back in time. We are going to turn back the clock 60 years to the 1960s. Let's find out what they were like. Wow! So I'm dressed in a 60s style outfit. My hair is big, as was the style at the time, and my makeup is inspired by Twiggy, a supermodel at the time. The 1960s were an age of innovation for fashion for women. The early 1960s gave birth to drainpipe jeans and capri pants, which were worn by Audrey Hepburn. Casual dress became more universal and often consisted of shirts with jeans, comfortable slacks or skirts. Because traditionally, trousers had been viewed by society as masculine or for men, but by the early 1960s, it had become acceptable for women to wear them every day. By adapting men's style and wearing trousers, women voiced their equality to men. The mini skirt was also invented in the 60s, so this would be a mini dress. Mary Quant was famous as the designer who invented the mini skirt and hot pants. Many things happened in the 60s, including the space race, so which country was going to get to space first, the civil rights movement, and the Vietnam War. The 1960s term also refers to an era more often called the 60s. This was a set of cultural and political trends around the globe. It was an age of space exploration in which the first man walked in the moon in 1969, so it was a decade of huge technological advances. Ireland also benefited from an economic boom, which meant that there was more money in the country. RTÉ, so what you're watching right now, television began on the last day of 1961. The provision of free post-primary education as well was brought in the 60s. The civil rights movement, which I mentioned earlier on, began in the north of Ireland and the start of the Troubles, which continued to the end of the century. Across the waters in America, the African American civil rights movement was a group of social movements in the United States. Their goal was to gain equal civil rights for African American people. The word African American was not used at the time, so the movement was usually called the Civil Rights Movement. The movement is famous for using non-violent protests and civil disobedience, which means peacefully refusing to follow unfair laws. Activists used strategies like boycotts, sit-ins, and protest marches. Sometimes police or racist white people would attack them, but the activists never fought back. The civil rights movement was also made of people of different races and religions. The movement's leaders and most of its activists were African American, with the most well-known being Martin Luther King. The movement got political and financial support from labor unions, religious groups, and some white politicians like Lyndon B. Johnson. Activists of all races came to join African Americans in marches, sit-ins, and protests. The civil rights movement was very successful. It helped to get 5 federal laws and 2 amendments to the Constitution passed. These officially protected African Americans' rights. It also helped change many people's attitudes about the way that Black people were treated and the rights they deserved. In North America and Europe, the decade was particularly revolutionary in terms of popular music, as it saw the evolution of rock. At the beginning of the 1960s, pop and rock and roll trends of the 1950s continued. The music that was popular at the time was the Beatles, Marvin Gaye, the Supremes, the Rolling Stones, Etta James, Simon and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, and so many more. I couldn't even begin to start naming them. But Instead, why don't we learn some 1960s dance moves and dance to some 60s music? They don't call the 60s the swinging 60s for nothing. In a time of social and cultural revolution, we were blessed with some of the best music. And with great music comes great dancing. And we got to experience some of the funnest dance moves of all time. And while dance fads or crazes are still around today, we know that they'll never be as great as they once were. So, we're going to start with the twist, okay? So when you're doing the twist, you literally twist your body. So we're going to start twisting our torso, and you can keep your hands and your legs still for now, and then you kind of let your hands go a bit floppy even, and you twist alternately, and then you can kind of shake as well, okay? So we are going to do the twist with a little bit of chubby checkers twist again.
Let's twist again, like we did last summer. Yeah, let's twist again, like we did last year. Do you remember when we really hunted? Yeah, let's twist again, Christmas time is here. Round and up and down we go again.
Great! I hope you enjoyed that, and try more of that at home. It's so much fun. And the twist is a nice, easy one because you just kind of move to what you're listening to, and it helps me as well because I have no coordination, so I just move and it kind of looks like the twist, okay? So next we are going to do the locomotion to the song The Locomotion. Now, I'm going to show you what you do. It's a nice, handy dance, okay? So I'm going to stand to the side to show you. So you kind of bend knee and bend and bend, and so bend and straight, but you kind of keep both legs moving at the same time, all right? And then to start, you're just going to do a bit of this. And then when we're actually doing the locomotion, you go like this, okay? So let's imagine you're kind of like a train, so locomotion, okay? And then we're going to go up, and then we're going to go down, and we're going to do the locomotion again. And then we're going to pump down and the locomotion again. Okay, so it's really easy, so you can just copy me as we go. So we're going to do it to the song by Little Eva called The Locomotion.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with me. It's easier than learning your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing your hips now.
Okay, great. So that is the locomotion. So it's handy enough one. So you're just doing kind of train and bopping. Okay, the next dance we're going to do is the Watusi. So the Watusi is basically, well, it looks like bad dancing, well, when I do it, obviously. But the Watusi, you're keeping your hands moving at alternate times like this, and you're just moving your legs, and then you can go. Okay, so it's very, very 60s. So let's do the Watusis to some music.
I need love to ease my mind. I need to find someone to call mine. When mama said you can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's a game of give and take. You can't hurry love, no, you just
Great, okay, so that's the Watusi, okay? Now we're going to do the swim, which is exactly what it sounds like, okay? So we're not necessarily doing actual swimming. You do kind of like this, and then you push to the side, and you go this, and you push to the side. And then you're going to go take a dive, so you're going to go woo, 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 woo. A woo, 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 woo. Okay, so we're going to do that to the Beach Boys Surfing USA, which is a great, great song. All right, let's go.
If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody'd be surfing like California. You'd bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA. You'll catch him surfing at the Ventura County line, Santa Cruz and Australia's Caribbean, all over Manhattan, and down Doheny Way. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Okay, so that is surfing yesterday. Now the next one is the hand jive, okay? And the hand jive is so much fun, but it's really, really quick. So this is what we do. We go bang, 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 bang. So do that with me. So the speed is going to get quicker, but we'll try it anyway. Okay, so go bang, 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 tap, 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 roll, clap, clap. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, roll, and then clap, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, roll, 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 clap, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, roll, 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 clap, clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, roll, 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 clap, clap. Right, okay, so we're going to do it to the song Born to Hand Jive. So let's give it a go. And the last one we're going to do is the monkey. So what would a monkey do if a monkey was dancing? So we're going to basically pretend like we're climbing vines. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're climbing vines. So you kind of, and then you can speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can go. So we're going to do that to a band from the 60s called the Monkees. Let's give it a go.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, and for someone else, but not for me. Our love was out to get me. That's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams.
Okay, so that is your trip to the 60s. Unfortunately, it's time to go back to present day, but I hope that you enjoyed it. So off we go. Well, that was fun. Why don't you send us in your photos and videos of 60s inspired fun? Slán!